I asked you guys, the viewers, for your best Rainbow Six Siege operator concepts, and I have to say, some of them weren't actually that bad. So in today's video, we're going to be going over some of the best of your guys' submissions and seeing what you have to offer. Now before this video starts, I have to give a quick shout out to Anifex for inspiring this video idea and thanking you guys for giving me your idea. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into operator concept number 1. Now concept number 1 comes from someone called Sprimp17, and they have suggested a operator for defense called Chameleon. Now starting off, that is a dope name for an operator. It kind of gives me the idea that they're going to be able to blend in or be able to camouflage themselves in plain sight, which is an interesting concept straight away. But the ability they have suggested is the ability to change their appearance 2 to 3 times around to that of another random operator. This is to fool attackers into making incorrect counter picks, for example picking a Thatcher for a fake Kai. Now when you disguise yourself as one of these random operators, you will also get a dummy / bait gadget. For example, if you swap into a bandit, you'd be able to place down fake bandit charges or fake evil eye cameras, for example, so that the attackers thought it was real. Now this is a pretty interesting concept. I know that when Ubisoft introduced the attacker repick feature, a lot of people kind of thought it'd be a little bit overpowered, and this would be a great counter to that. But I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't even see that many people use this feature properly. But then what's interesting here is at the end he says that this operator would be a 2 armor and 2 speed operator, but as you disguise yourself into these other operators, you would be able to match the exact same speed as who you are disguised as. Now, in my opinion, this is arguably more interesting than the ability you have suggested. Having an operator that can change their speed or armor at any given time would be a really cool concept. For example, let's just say the round has just started and you morphed into an operator that was a 3 speed to allow you to get around the map, help reinforce, help set up sight, and then go and get into your roaming position. And once you get there, you hear that the operators are actually going to be pushing through your side of the map. So what you do then is morph for a second time, but this time into an operator that has 3 armor, and this would then allow you to take a little bit more bullets during that gunfight. Something like this would be pretty cool in Rainbow Six Siege. No one really does it at the moment. I know we have Kavira, who in her silent step can be slightly faster than she normally is. We have Oryx who can dash, but that's just a completely different thing. And then we have operators like Rook with his body armor, and Doc and Thunderbird with their overstimming, which temporarily manipulates how much health you can have. If I had to give a rating out of 10 for this operator, I'll be completely honest, I'd have to give it like a 7.5 out of 10. I do see some concerns with it, but I think with a few tweaks this could be a good operator that could actually come to Rainbow Six Siege. Moving on then to operator number 2, and this one comes from Ryan22, and the ability that he is suggesting here is kind of like Recruit but different. He says that on attack, this operator would have the ability to pick 2 defender secondary gadgets to bring to the attacking side. And then if this operator was a defender, they would have access to bring 2 attacker secondary gadgets to the defending team. Now what's interesting about this concept is it kind of puts a little bit of a spin on what we already know in Rainbow Six Siege. For example, if you were an attacker and you could have the option of bringing a C4 and a deployable shield, it would kind of allow you to play somewhat similar to Osa, but obviously not exactly the same, where you can put down a deployable shield in a certain location, you can hold that angle down and try and take advantage of it. And then having things like C4 on attack would allow you to play vertically and throw it on the underside of a floor, kind of like how Pulse takes advantage of that feature. And then on the flip side, if you were a defender, you could bring things such as frag grenades, which we haven't seen on the defending side yet. And then I know it kind of sounds a little bit wacky, but imagine having a hard breach charge as a defender to kind of set up angles and rotates for yourself in reinforced wall. I think as a defender, being able to reinforce a wall fully and then putting your rotate in with a hard breach charge might actually be a little bit beneficial on certain bomb sites on certain maps. Now once again, giving this operator concept a rating out of 10, I actually do really like this, and and it seems very simple, so it's probably something more likely for Ubisoft to create. So I'm going to give it a solid rating of 8.5 out of 10. I'd be interested to see how this would work. Moving on then to operator concept number 3. This one comes from someone called Wikvo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing their name right. If I'm not, I am sorry. But they are suggesting a Night Haven based operator from the country of origin of Hungary for the attacking team. Now this operator is going to be a 1-speed 3 armor operator called Magya, and the ability is going to be a noise drone. Now he didn't really give more detail other than that. He said you can make various noise with this potentially bulletproof drone, and to me it kind of sounds like the ability to drive a drone kind of around the map and then play sound cues whenever you want to. Here's a quick example I put together using Twitch's drone, and hopefully it helps demonstrate this idea. In higher levels of Rainbow Six Siege, sound cues are very important. Once you get into like Diamond and above, the smallest of sounds can actually trigger people to play in certain ways. You could hear a single footstep from a certain part of the map, and it causes people to completely rotate around the map, change the angle that they are playing on, think that people are coming from ways that they are not, and having a drone that could either decoy footsteps, decoy, you know, gadgets being placed on walls, maybe even doing like call outs from other operators, that would be something very strong, especially in those higher ranks. As for the loadout of this operator, the viewer suggests the CZ Scorpion Evo SMG. This is obviously Ella's SMG, and this is a weapon I would like to see get reused because it's been strictly only available on Ella since her release, and it's a weapon that I would like to be able to use more of. And then as for the secondary options, we get a Glock 17 pistol and a pump action shotgun. Overall, giving this operator concept a rating out of 10. Again, I really do like this operator concept, and I'm going to give it another pretty high score of 7.8 out of 10. I think this would be very strong in higher ranks, but obviously the lower you get into like bronze, silver and gold, I think not many people would use this operator. Operator concept number 4 then comes from someone called Riflin Y, and it's not really an operator concept, it's more of just a gadget concept, but they said that they had an idea for this gadget while looking at the Skopos teaser poster, and essentially it is the ability to be able to put down a camera anywhere on the map and have it on your screen without having to go on your phone, meaning you can still walk around the map, still take full advantage of having your gun up, being able to take gunfights while also having the added information of whatever is on that camera. Now if this was an attacker gadget, I could see this as a great flank watch operator, having a live camera feed of what is potentially coming up behind you. And then if this was a defender, I could also see this being very strong. Imagine being able to set up like a Valk cam, throw it down somewhere and having it permanently fixed on your screen so that you know exactly when and where to swing and pre-aim and pre-fire. This gadget concept would be amazing. I don't know if it would be a fully fledged operator with this gadget or if it would be a potential secondary gadget, but either way this is a very good idea. This is actually going to have to be a 9 out of 10. I would really love to see something like this in Siege. Moving on then to operator concept number 5. This one comes from Mr. Piggles 1940. What a great name, I really do like it, and he's suggesting a brand new operator by the name of Lasning. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it essentially translates to lockdown in Swedish. Now this operator is obviously going to be from Sweden. He's going to be a male attacker, part of Wolfguard. He's going to be another 3 armor 1 speed operator. Now the gadget that he is suggesting is 3 QBDs, quick barricading devices. Now these 3 gadgets act like castle barricades, but obviously for the attacking team, and they are not as strong. They can go down in 5 hits instead of 9 like castles, and on top of that they can also take damage to bullets like an Azami barrier. Now the way that this gadget would work is you would throw it down at the bottom of a doorway in the same kind of style as Alibi's gadget, and it would immediately deploy by itself on that doorway or window. Now he says that the loadout for this operator is going to be Recruit LMG and the new AR for Skopos as primary options. And then as for the secondary options, it's going to be a random pistol, it doesn't really matter. And then having the second secondary option of the Gon 6 to allow this operator to make plays off their own barricades. Now I'm going to be completely honest, this operator sounds insane. I really like the direction you're going with this operator. I could see Ubisoft adding this to the game. This would be another kind of flank watch style operator. They'd be able to build barricades behind themselves, even if they took the objective and, you know, were able to plant, being able to then barricade up the walls so that the operators from outside had to then fight their way back in would be insanely strong. And as you say, if they did get the Gon 6, it would allow them to, you know, catch people off guard by destroying it quicker than they can expect. And then it would also allow you to go through the barricades of windows and doorways that you didn't want your gadget to be on anymore a lot quicker. I think this operator might be the best out of this entire video so far. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. Ubisoft, if you ever for some reason watch this video, please take inspiration from Mr. Piggles here, because this operator concept is great. And then for the final operator concept of this video, we have a concept by Mr. Goodbye 23. Now he suggests a defender soft roamer by the name of Slick. Now Slick's gadget is an oil grenade that when you stand in it, it makes you slip around. It makes it so you can't stop still instantly, which means when you go to stop on corners and try to hold angles, there's still a little bit of movement before you come to a complete stop. The oil itself will conserve the momentum of the operator. So let's say you're strafing right or strafing left and then you try to stop or engage in a gunfight, you're still going to be slowly sliding to the left for a little bit of a distance, which means it's going to throw off your aim a little bit and it's going to be really hard to engage with gunfights, but it's not actually going to do you any harm. It's not going to do any damage to you, it's just going to make it annoying to deal with. Now the primary options of this operator is going to be the M12 SMG, that is Kavira's SMG, or the UMP45. These are low fire rate, low recoil, low damage SMGs, and the reason for having such undesirable weapons is because it's obviously going to put any attacker that is caught in this operator's gadget into a massive disadvantage for their gunplay. So giving this operator bad guns will bring the odds closer together. For secondary options, they're going to have the PMM and the Super Shorty, which means this operator is going to be good for sight setup and making rotates. And as for the secondary gadgets, he said that they should get the proximity mines and barbed wire to kind of help with the combination with their gadget. And once again, given this operator concept a ranking out of 10, I do kind of like the idea, but I also think it would be more frustrating to deal with than anything. But if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 10. It's a cool concept, but I just don't see it coming to the game. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that has been it for today's video. If you made it this far, then please consider hitting that like button and subscribing while you're down there. If you want more videos like this, then let me know your operator concepts down in the comment section below. If I get enough good operator concepts again, then I'd probably end up making a second part. But until then, click the video on screen, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.